I get a lot of fun opportunities in my job, and right now getting to stand on the field at Suncorp Stadium with a bloke who, I mean, this is your home, Gordon Tallis, isn't it?
No, it's Wally's home.
Okay.
It's Wally's home. We just
Right.
get invited. So it's Arthur's and Wally's, I'd say. Probably more Wally's because he played more games here. But yeah, if you ask the Queenslander, Wally's got the statue, Arthur's got a statue, Mel and Lockie and Alf. So it's probably their homes. We just get invited over for a barbecue every now and then.
Okay. When are you going to get a statue?
I don't know.
Have they had conversations with you about
No.
it? It's never been raised.
I reckon there's a few in line. I reckon I missed that boat. Now there's
You think your time's done?
yeah. Well, there's the Smiths, the Slaters, the Thurstons. They're three.
None of
They're
them
three.
played for Brisbane. None of them played for Brisbane.
Yeah, I get. Well, and they got theirs in Melbourne. Do you know what? Let's go. Let's start. Let's start the vote now.
This is Magic Round Brisbane.
Yeah.
This is not Magic Round Queensland. This is Magic Round Brisbane.
Well, there's Shane Webke too, Petro. There's been some great players come through the club, so I'm just happy to have run out. It was my favourite ground as a kid. We used to watch every game on Sunday night. It was like the Sunday night match of the round. You get Redcliffe and Wynnum and all those Norths and Souths and Mel and all the boys be playing for one against Wally and the Trevor Gilmeister and that would be playing for another club. So that's what we did. And then it was the old Lang Park and then now it's Suncorp Stadium.
I think I know why you don't have a statue yet. It's because Brett Hodgson hasn't agreed to be in the in the statue with you being slung, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I wish that tackle was here. I didn't get much of a cheer. It was in Sydney, I think. So it was out there at ANZ Stadium.
You mentioned it's Suncorp Stadium now,
Yep.
but it was Lang Park.
Yeah, a lot of the old blokes still call it Lang Park, and
Yeah.
because that's what it was called, and that's where they come, and that's the history of the place. And I was fortunate enough. I played at the old Lang Park. I played for New South Wales. Believe it or not, I played on this ground. Not too many people know.
Hold on, stop.
I played for New South Wales here.
On this ground.
On this ground. That's the first time I've told this story in the stadium. Yeah, so I got picked for New South Wales under-19s before you had to play State of Origin. I wanted to play for Queensland. I was playing for the Dragons in the younger grades, and they said so. I played, and there was John Hopewadi, Rodney Howe. We had a really good side back then. Luke Ricketson, and we came and played Queensland here. I think we beat them 28 points to 10 or something like that, and Hopper was giving it to the crowd over in the corner. They were throwing cans at us. The boys did a lap of honour. I didn't. That's one thing I didn't do. I stood over here. I was a Queensland. I wasn't going to rub it in. And I knew that when you got to the can bar, you're in trouble.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So
Have you got a photo of that somewhere?
Yeah, there'd be photos of it. Yeah, of me in New South Wales. Yeah, so played here, and then the next time I played here was State of Origin.
Yeah.
With the real colour jersey on, and probably my greatest moment was I think in 2000 and whenever it was we got beaten and the famous hand grenade.
Yes.
Well,
Fletch Hindy.
Yeah. So then the next year it was the last ever game in this stadium, and it was the first game, game one, and we played, and it was the last game. Last time someone was going to run out here in the old Lang Park, even though it was Suncorp Stadium, but everybody called it Lang Park, and it was a great night for Queensland. We had 10 debutants, and that's probably my favourite moment ever. Walking out of that side there, the change room, walking out, and it was really eerie because something sort of come over us that night. And then I played the first ever game here at Suncorp Stadium against Newcastle, and Joey spoiled the party. Actually, Joey was brilliant that day. We played Newcastle when we opened it up, I think in 2003.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because it's the Cauldron. It is such an intimidating environment for everybody that's not from Queensland or not playing for the Broncos. Was there somebody, an individual or a team during your time or that you've seen since you've retired who you think steps out here and just breathes that in and takes it on board and actually steps up a bit?
It's too nice. It's too nice for them now. Like when I first got changed here, it was all wood. You'd walk over like a drain and it was old school, and you knew that Arthur and all those guys had been changed in their dressing rooms. And then now it's too pretty. They got the ice baths, they got everything. And even a New South Wales guy on Origin night, this might be his favourite ground to play at.
Yeah.
So it's a great ground for rugby league. Like have a look at it. You run out here. There's not a bad seat in the house. Some other grounds you don't like going because of the surface or because of the dressing rooms or because of something around it. But this is state of the art, and everybody loves playing it. And what happened before in the old Lang Park, before Broncos come in, no one come up here and played. So mate, there might be a Knights player that's played here 8 or 10 times and it comes out here in Origin. Before that, they used to run out here at Lang Park for the first time because it was a New South Wales competition and Queensland competition. So it's a great ground. I don't think people walk out here now. I suppose a young Queenslander might, but I think it's a great stadium.
I remember I came to a State of Origin game here for the first time.
It's
My
different,
wife,
isn't it?
who's a Queenslander, we'd been to some
I knew I
Origin
liked
games.
you.
And yeah, I know.
You still got blue on though.
I know. Well, mate, we're a Sydney show. My kids, you'll be proud to know, my daughter considers herself a Queenslander though.
Yeah, well-
She identifies as such.
Hello.
But my wife, she'd said, it's different when you go to Origin in Queensland. It's just different. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I came here and we sat in that corner over there, and I went, I get it. I get exactly what you're talking about. When you come out here, and you played in the different incarnations that the ground and the area has had, is there a moment or a play, or do you have not a flashback necessarily, but can you recall, you've told us about some of the games you played, but can you recall any specific moments from your career? A hit, a tackle, a try?
No, I don't. I remember sitting at home on the couch with Dad when the first Origin was played, and then sitting there getting up, and it was the only day because it was always on a school night, and being able to sit up and watch the Origin. So that's what Origin was to me. And then fast forward at 13 years, I'm playing, and Wally Lewis is the coach, Mel Meninga's the captain. So those guys I watched when I was 7, they're in the team, and Alan Langer and Trevor Gilmeister. So I don't know what it is, and you know how it's just different? You get a different feel, and you can't really explain to people if they haven't been there, sort of thing. So I can be the Broncos captain and walk the streets, and we can go and have a beer, and someone will say g'day, or they won't.
Yeah.
Through Origin time, everybody comes over and pats you on the back and say, how are we going to go?
Yeah.
I still get it. I've been retired for a long time. Gordy, how are we going to go, mate? Get in there and help us. So I don't know why a Queenslander feels different about Origin, but it's from their kid when they grew up, and there'll be a moment when Wally did something or whatever. My favourite moment, Fox asked me, what was it? And I said, I remember sitting here and Billy Slater, he was onside when that kick went through from Lockie, and he might have been. I don't know, but it might have been. And then Billy gets it, and I tell you what, they looked at it a million times not to give it to him. And then he chipped, and then Minicello and tried. I love that. Then they come here, and then I had sitting up here in the stands, and my favourite moments at this ground are when I'm a fan. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and I was about right in line when Cooper Cronk kicked the field goal. Remember when he kicked it from here, and every part of his body come together.
What was it? It all came together in one beautiful synchronicity or whatever.
Something like that.
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
We can't use your words, Cooper. We don't have them. We're not capable.
He patented it too, and I don't want to. And then I had my son Jack, and he must have been about 8 on the time. I jumped up. I had a beer in one hand, I had my son on, and I've jumped. And I didn't realise he's gone 2 rows forward because I've just had him here and I've jumped and he's flipped over. So, but at least he landed on people because they weren't jumping as high as me. But they're the moments that I remember of myself here
that's incredible.
Because I'm a fan. So then rugby league, I was a fan. Started as a sandboy, ball boy, and then I got to run out.
So as a fan then, this weekend,
I love
Magic Round,
Yep.
it is, I remember when the NRL introduced the concept, I thought, that's an interesting idea.
And you thought it was stupid?
I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't think it was stupid.
Well, it works in England, so they all go up the Wales for the weekend. I think I don't know what it's called, but it works well there. Everybody goes away for a weekend. We had 120,000 people come the last Magic Round. I don't know with COVID whether it's going to be as successful with numbers, but I know that Queensland's excited. I was sitting up here. I just finished Triple M. I came up here. We finished at 4 o'clock. I come to watch the last game. There's a guy in a Raiders jersey, a Dragons jersey, a Penrith jersey.
That's
and
what
they're
I
mates.
love.
And they're all sitting here. That doesn't happen
exactly
at any other game. And they're watching the Roosters play someone. I'm like, But that's what Magic Round is.
Yeah.
Blokes don't often go and watch it. So you come, you can walk in and out, you can watch games. Caxton Street, Paddo Tavern, there's Caxton Hotel, there's the Regatta, there's pubs close, there's bars, there's restaurants. And it's great for rugby league because we only get 12 games here. And let me tell you something, the Broncos aren't going that good.
What do you mean? Are the Broncos not going well this year? I hadn't noticed.
They're going better. They're going better.
They're just going.
In Kevy we trust. We'll turn it around. He'll turn it around.
Yeah.
He'll turn it around.
Wrong club, mate. Wrong club.
I'm a Titan,
Titans,
mate.
man.
I'm a Titan through and through.
All those pubs you just mentioned, and you've mentioned them because you don't pay for a beer at any of them now, do you?
Well, I'll take you to it after it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're catching up. This video doesn't really matter much. In fact, we're even going to put this up. No, this weekend it is going to be spectacular. give me, before we finish up, we appreciate you telling us some stories about this Magic ground. Give me 2 players that you think might deliver us a moment of magic out here this weekend. Give me 2
players.
2 players.
That's on the spot. I reckon.
Yeah, it is.
Kalen Ponga.
Yes. Good call.
I really like him. I watched him a couple of weeks ago. He come back from injury. Played the Titans in the first one. The week after, he's getting better.
And the Knights can only win if he delivers magic at the moment.
And they're playing the Tigers, so I think that they'll give him some
for
opportunities.
the opening game of Magic Round.
Yeah, so I think Kalen Ponga. And I'd like to say David Fafita coming back to his old ground, but I don't know whether he's going to get off the judiciary.
No,
so,
Big Tino. Oh, that's a no to Big Tino, I think.
No, Tino's...
Silence is telling.
No, Tino's a different player. Like, you want him to come and blow the game apart, don't you?
AJ Brimson. That's a big no for AJ too. I'll keep naming him. You keep
Xavier
pausing.
Coates.
Oh.
Let's go Xavier Coates.
Oh, but won't that be bittersweet?
Well, he's got to prove to the players. I'll tell you something what he's got to do. I don't care who he goes to play for, but he's got to prove now that he's going to play for those 16 guys that he trains with every week for the rest of the year. So he's got to commit to them, and there's no better way to commit than out here when all the noise and you run out here and you got the mouth guard in and it's only these guys and you don't hear too much. You just see what's happening here. That's when he's got to perform.
Oh, I like that Xavier Coates. I'll tell you what, Broncos v Manly.
You could have told me that question was coming.
No, it's good. I like it. You're
Thinking
too
on the
prepared. You've told all your stories a million times, so I like to get something fresh from you. This is that game, Broncos Manly. Tom Trbojevic is the other bloke. I mean, what do you do with him? I asked MG this question the other day.
Get that bloke from Manly more. I don't know who you are, right? I asked Tommy on Triple M, right? I said, Tommy, who was he? He goes, I don't know. But we need to sign him. Somebody needs to sign him. I don't care. He got to sign for some club. Just put him. He can be the sprint coach. He can't be Tommy. He's the only guy this year that's beat Tommy. That's made Tommy look stupid.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
the
mate.
only guy.
But you can be guaranteed that Des Hasler has banned Tommy Trbojevic from the Manly Corso. So I don't care what you do. Stay the F away from Manly
exactly.
Corso. All right. Well, there you go. 3 epic days of football here at Suncorp Stadium. All 16 teams, 8 games. Gordon Tallis, you'll be just perched up there somewhere in the corner, will you?
I'll be working at you here at Live on the M's. With Maroon. Flexible invoicing. Anthony Maroon.